Comrade President of the meeting, all my friends from fraternal organizations from foreign countries, my colleagues, auto rallies and on march, processions, no method was left to popularize the message of 42nd conference. So I must congratulate as well as thank the reception committee and state AITUC committee for that.
അധ്യക്ഷൻ, എൻ്റെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെ, വിദേശ പ്രതിനിധികളെ, സഖാക്കളെ, സഹോദരീ സഹോദരന്മാരെ, മാധ്യമ പ്രവർത്തകരെ, എനിക്ക് ആലപ്പുഴയിലെ സഖാക്കളോട്, കേരളത്തിലുള്ളവരോട് നന്ദി പറയുവാനുണ്ട്. 42ാമത് AITUC ദേശീയ സമ്മേളനം ഇത്ര ഭംഗിയായി വിജയിപ്പിച്ചതിന് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് സ്വാഗത സംഘത്തിനോട് നന്ദി പറയുകയാണ്. AITUCയുടെ സംസ്ഥാന നേതൃത്വത്തിനോട് പ്രത്യേകം നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്. മീറ്റിങ്ങുകളും സെമിനാറുകളും ട്രാക്ടർ റാലികളും ഒക്കെയും സംഘടിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഇത്രയും വലിയ വിജയമാക്കി തീർത്തതിന്.
We are in the land of martyrs of Punapra Wailer. Several other places where the history of martyrdom was written in Kerala. It was enthusing for us, all our delegates and comrades, to come from all corners of India to participate in this 42nd conference. They expected, they hoped that our discussions will remember the history of sacrifices, history of contribution of AITUC in freeing our country from British colonial rule. They were coming here to be enthused, to once again understand those tyrants, colonial rulers were fought by the Indian people and working class was never behind. It was once again to remember that those tyrants, rulers, tried to divide Indian people to continue their rule on this country. So those who were looting us, exploiting us, suppressing us, oppressing us, then trying to divide us, they needed to be defeated and to be thrown out of our land. And in that whole battle, our AITUC predecessors, our ancestors participated in the glorious freedom movement. This was necessary for us to remember all that and to come to this Punapra land to once again understand who are the present rulers who are sitting in the seat of power in Delhi. They are the ancestors of those very forces who stood with the British rulers, who never fought in Indian freedom movement, who betrayed Indian people, who were always dividing our people, who were spreading communal venom and hatred at that time also. They are the ancestors of the present rulers who behaved that way. And how we look at our history, during their betrayal, we were valiantly fighting, our predecessors were fighting. So it became important for us to come and debate. India is in trouble. Indian people are in trouble. Our natural resources, national resources are again, once again in Indian corporate and foreign corporates, they are being offered. We would be once again looted in the guise of our own government, leading that loot, allowing that loot. And then hundreds of years, thousands of years, great civilization of India, living in harmony. As many religions are there on this earth planet, believers of all those religions live in India. We have lived through centuries, living together different food habits, different dress habits, different cultural festivals, different ways of believing or not believing, being believer or being an atheist, a great country with flora or fauna. That great country was ruined by colonial rulers, and today own elected government in India wants to ruin this country. That is why it was important for us to have this 42nd conference to deliberate in the land of martyrs who fought for India. And we deliberated, and we come out of that with some decisions which we have to carry forward after we depart from here.
പുന്നപ്രവയലാർ രക്തസാക്ഷികളുടെ നാട്ടിലാണ് നമ്മൾ സമ്മേളനം നടത്തുന്നത്. മറ്റനേകം പോരാട്ടങ്ങളുടെ ചരിത്രമുള്ള നാടാണിത്. ഒരുപാട് നാടുകളിൽ നിന്ന് സഖാക്കൾ വന്നു ചേർന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവർ ഈ ചർച്ചകളെല്ലാം തന്നെ ഓർത്തിരിക്കും. ഒരിക്കൽ ബ്രിട്ടീഷ് ഭരണത്തിൽ നിന്ന്, കൊളോണിയൽ ശക്തികളിൽ നിന്ന് സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം നേടിയവരാണ് നമ്മുടെ പൂർവികർ. സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യ സമരത്തിൽ പങ്കെടുത്ത ചരിത്രമാണ് നമ്മുടെ പ്രസ്ഥാനത്തിനും പൂർവികർക്കും. എന്നാൽ ഇന്ന് ആരാണ് ഇന്ത്യയുടെ ഭരണത്തിലിരിക്കുന്നത്? ബ്രിട്ടീഷ് കൊളോണിയൽ ഭരണം പിന്തുടരുന്ന വെറുപ്പിൻ്റെ രാഷ്ട്രീയം പരത്തുന്നവരാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യം ഭരിക്കുന്നത്. വലിയ അപകടകരമായ സ്ഥിതിയിലൂടെയാണ് രാജ്യം കടന്നു പോകുന്നത്. ഈ രാജ്യത്തിലെ ജനങ്ങൾ അപകടത്തിലാണ്. നമ്മുടെ പൊതു സ്വത്തുക്കൾ അവർ കൊള്ളയടിക്കുന്നു. നൂറിലധികം വർഷങ്ങളായി വളരെ സന്തോഷത്തോടെ കഴിഞ്ഞിരുന്ന നാടാണിത്. വ്യത്യസ്തമായ മതം, ഭാഷ, വസ്ത്രം, ഭക്ഷണം, വിശ്വാസികളും അവിശ്വാസികളും എന്നിങ്ങനെ നാനാ തരത്തിലുള്ള വൈവിധ്യങ്ങളെ കൊണ്ട് നിറഞ്ഞിരുന്ന ഒരു നാടാണിത്. എന്നാൽ ആ നാടിനെ അന്ന് കൊളോണിയൽ ശക്തികൾ വേർതിരിപ്പിൻ്റെ രാഷ്ട്രീയമുണ്ടാക്കിക്കൊണ്ട് നശിപ്പിച്ചു കളഞ്ഞു. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ വീണ്ടും അതുപോലുള്ള ഒരു ഭരണത്തിൻ കീഴിലാണ്.
In the conference, of course, we reviewed our activities. We looked at the developing political economic situation since this government has come to power. We discussed in various commissions on several very important subjects. We adopted 2 reports. We adopted 4 commission reports, and we adopted almost 37 different resolutions on important subjects. Added to it, presence of WFTU General Secretary, his message and his viewpoint, what all is happening in the world, including the messages from our fraternal delegates who came all the way from Cyprus, from Portugal, from Kazakhstan, from Nepal, from Sri Lanka, from Syria. They were there with us. Some of our friends could not join us because of visa problem. Some friends had to go back, they were not allowed entry. And some others could not come because financial constraints were there. But they all sent message from across the world. And Ambassador of Vietnam, great Vietnam, which defeated French colonial rulers, which defeated United States of America, a mighty force, which wanted Vietnam to be remain divided and to be oppressed, they defeated. Their ambassador came all the way from Delhi to deliver a message from Vietnam's trade unions. Also, we had representative of International Labour Organization to give us message. Our friends from Nepal, they are still with us, our closest friends. They came, 4 of them. So the messages of all these enriched our discussions, enriched our understanding, and discussion of our comrades further helped us in enriching our documents. And that's why this Congress has been a very, very successful national conference of AITUC. From the point of view how we look at future, With all this enrichment and enlightenment further, how we look at future, what do we want to do? That is where I would like to tell you how we want to go way forward. What is the forward message?
ഈ സമ്മേളനത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ ചർച്ച ചെയ്തത് രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ സാമ്പത്തിക നയങ്ങളാണ്. 4 കമ്മീഷനുകളാണ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. 37 പ്രമേയങ്ങളാണ് പാസ്സാക്കപ്പെട്ടത്. ഈ സമ്മേളനത്തിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ പ്രത്യേകത WFTUവിൻ്റെ ജനറൽ സെക്രട്ടറി നമുക്ക് സന്ദേശം നൽകുന്നതിനായി എത്തി എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. നമ്മുടെ ക്ഷണം സ്വീകരിച്ച് വിവിധ വിദേശ രാജ്യങ്ങളായ സൈപ്രസ്, പോർച്ചുഗൽ, ഖസാക്കിസ്ഥാൻ, ശ്രീലങ്ക, സിറിയ എന്നീ രാജ്യങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് പ്രതിനിധികൾ എത്തിച്ചേർന്നു. കുറച്ചു പേർക്ക് വിസ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ മൂലവും മറ്റു കുറച്ചു പേർക്ക് സാമ്പത്തിക ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് കാരണവും എത്തിച്ചേരുവാൻ സാധിച്ചില്ല എങ്കിലും അവർ നമുക്ക് സന്ദേശങ്ങൾ അയച്ചു. മഹത്തായ വിയറ്റ്നാമിൻ്റെ അംബാസിഡർ, നിങ്ങൾക്കേവർക്കും അറിയാവുന്നതുപോലെ വിയറ്റ്നാം ഫ്രഞ്ച് കൊളോണിയൽ ഭരണത്തെ തോൽപ്പിച്ച മഹത്തായ രാജ്യമാണ്. അവിടെ നിന്നുള്ള അംബാസിഡർ നമുക്ക് സന്ദേശം നൽകുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി ഇവിടെ എത്തിച്ചേർന്നു. നേപ്പാളിൽ നിന്നുള്ള സഖാക്കൾ എത്തിച്ചേർന്നു. ഇവരൊക്കെയും നമ്മുടെ ചർച്ചകൾ വളരെ ആഴത്തിൽ മനസ്സിലാക്കി. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഇത് പ്രാധാന്യമർഹിക്കുന്ന സമ്മേളനമാണ്. എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ മുന്നോട്ട് പോകേണ്ടത് എന്ന വലിയ ചർച്ചകളാണ് ഇവിടെ നടന്നത്.
We understand it's not only in the normal times that the capitalists exploit those who are wealth producers. And those capitalist cartels and monopoly companies, multinational companies or national monopoly companies, they try to say that they are the wealth producer. Who is the wealth producer? We the workers are wealth producers. Those who are workers in manufacturing, in production, in service sector, everywhere. We provide services and we produce wealth. And we know very well who are the exploiters. But this COVID pandemic area has further opened the eyes of people and shown how brutal, how cruel the capitalists can be. In all those countries where the governments were pro-corporate, common people were left to their mercies. And corporates were allowed to loot in those difficult times. Only the government employees and public health employees and public sector employees and workers were in the field for their own people. This was seen in various countries. Only those places where the regimes and the rulers were pro-people, pro-workers and farmers, they stood with their people. They tried to do everything best possible what they can deliver for their masses in those difficult times. I cannot forget Cuba under sanctions for years and years since its revolution, facing all difficulties. After collapse of Soviet Union, all ways of help have been cut off to them further. From that Cuba, themselves not a flourishing economy, they are a developing economy, facing sanctions, still serving their people. Doctors of Cuba went out to help other countries in this COVID pandemic. That is how World Federation Trade Union and we all together with our World Federation Trade Union demanded why the Cuban doctors should not be given Nobel Prize. Such humanitarian service they did. It proves that only those governments who stand for the people, who stand with the working masses, can understand their pain and can stand up with them in difficult times. And those who support the looters, exploiters, they abandon their masses. And this is vividly known to us.
നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യമുണ്ട്. ഇതൊരു സാധാരണ സമയം പോലെയല്ല. മുതലാളിത്തവും കുത്തക മുതലാളിത്തവും ഒക്കെയാണ് ഇവിടെ. ചൂഷണം നടത്തുന്നത്. അവർ പറയുന്നത് അവരാണ് ഇവിടെ സമ്പത്ത് ഉൽപ്പാദിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് എന്നാണ്. പക്ഷേ ആരാണ് യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ സമ്പത്തുണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്? അത് തൊഴിലാളികളാണ്. കോവിഡ് പകർച്ചവ്യാധി സമയത്ത് ആരാണ് നമ്മളെ ചൂഷണം ചെയ്തത് എന്ന് നമ്മൾ വ്യക്തമായി കണ്ടതാണ്. സാധാരണ ജനങ്ങൾ കഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്ന ഇടത്ത് കുത്തക മുതലാളിമാർ നമ്മളെ ചൂഷണം ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് വലിയ ലാഭമുണ്ടാക്കുകയുണ്ടായി. ഗവൺമെന്റ് മേഖലയിലും ഇതര മേഖലയിലും ഒക്കെയുള്ള തൊഴിലാളികളാണ് കഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്ന ജനങ്ങളെ ചേർത്തു നിർത്തിയത്. ക്യൂബയെക്കുറിച്ച് ഈ അവസരത്തിലാണ് നമ്മൾ വ്യക്തമായി മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ടത്. ക്യൂബയിൽ നിന്നുള്ള ഡോക്ടർമാർ ലോകത്തിന്റെ എല്ലാ ഭാഗങ്ങളിലും എത്തുകയുണ്ടായി. WFTU അന്ന് ചോദിച്ചതാണ് ക്യൂബയിൽ നിന്നുള്ള ഡോക്ടർമാർക്ക് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് നോബൽ സമ്മാനം കൊടുക്കാത്തത് എന്ന്. കാരണം അവരുടെ സേവനം അത്തരത്തിലുള്ളതായിരുന്നു. അന്ന് കൂടെ നിന്ന് കഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുള്ള മറ്റു മേഖലയിലുള്ളവർക്ക് മാത്രമേ അത് തിരിച്ചറിയുവാൻ കഴിയുകയുള്ളൂ.
I don't want to take much of your time, but in the end I want to say, comrades, in our country, our people suffered very badly, miserably, especially our workers, migrant workers who walked miles and miles, more than 1,500 kilometers, walking on roads, dying hungry, dying without medicine, dying with dehydration. Our women workers giving birth to their children on the roadside. Very pathetic condition we saw. Here LDF government tried to help migrant workers. Community kitchen was started. They were taken care of. And then our AITUC comrades also worked hard all over India to help these stranded workers. And here, safe passage to their states. All that was done. We know how public health system could work here to support the people. Within our country, we can see the variation. Where some of the state governments were not allowing their own people of that state, the worker of that state, they were not allowing them to enter back to their state. We saw that kind of discriminatory and cruel behavior within our country also. How our Prime Minister, a sadist in his nature. Who is a sadist? Sadist is a person who enjoys the miseries and pain of others. Sadist is a person who shows fake tears when you want to earn the sympathy of others, but cruel at heart, shying to be openly trying to show as if you are very empathetic to others. So we understand the regime ruling over there, and during their rule, workers suffered. They allowed the corporates to loot our money. Every day the policies are to finish off this nation, to divide this nation, to loot this nation, to dismantle public sector, to dismantle government departments, everything. All democratic institutions of governance are being crippled, being made non-functional, and some of the government institutions are being used to chase the people, organizations, bodies, individuals who oppose the government. Anybody questioning government, they are behaving like this. And that is the lesson we learned, how neo-Nazis and neo-fascists are showing their heads in several countries. We learned this lesson in a WFTU Congress and through our links with them, how in various countries they are killing the democratic rights of people. So similarly, Indian regime is also behaving that way, taking away our hard-won labor rights, one in 150 years of struggle in India. So we debated on those issues also. Trade union is the biggest resistance movement in any country. Working class is the biggest resistance movement to tyrant regimes. And that is why, along with the neoliberal economic models, along with the pro-corporate international finance capital model, they bring in how to kill the unions, how to cripple the unions, how to stifle the union, how to oppress the union, how to finish off their union rights. That has been experienced in various countries, and in our country we are facing that. So what is our slogan? Of course, lots of action programs we adopted. Through commissions, through resolutions, we will carry forward. 30th January, National Convention of Workers by platform of central trade unions will happen. Lots of action programs will be taken up over there. We will carry it forward. But among all those action programs, the direction is one. And the direction is 2024 is in the corner. Whole of 2023 should be the year of struggles, agitations and sacrifices. And 2024, we do not want to see this tyrant regime sitting in the seat of power in Delhi. And that's why we clearly say, we want to remove this government. BJP Bhagao or Desh Bachao is the real direction of all the programs culminating into it. Because they are not only against working class, or against our farmers, or against our other sections of society. They are against India. They are against our national interests. They are against our national resources. They are trying to sell everything. So they are against India. They are anti-national government. And anti-national government has to have a befitting reply from the working class, and that is, we have to uproot this government in 2024. Whole leadership. Leadership is not only what you elected today. General Council, Working Committee and the office bearers. AITUC leadership means all its state leaders, all its leaders at the district level, all its leaders at the institution and enterprise level, industry level, everywhere. Those who are leading from grassroots level up to the top level, they are the leadership of AITUC. And that is why great responsibility on all the comrades, from center to state to district to plant level, industry and enterprise level, to carry forward this message of 42nd conference. So if we wish to look at New India, build a new India, the slogan which was coined in the press conference also yesterday. So how New India will come? Who is obstacle in New India? Who is trying to destroy whatever we made in independent India? So until this regime is removed, you cannot have dream of building New India. So march to New India. To march to New India, this regime must be thrown out. And with that clear direction, we will be going from LP. All over India, our comrades should carry the message and build the big movements. And you, the AITUC, have to make the maximum responsibility bearing in the united movement of trade unions. Your responsibility is bigger not only to India, also to inspire working class movement and trade unions in whole of South Asia. We learn from those countries and their trade union movement also. But they look towards us, the oldest organization, AITUC, a pioneer of trade union movement. They are looking towards us. Whole of South Asia looks towards us, and many other countries also. And that is what they were trying to say, many of them. And that's why, with that sense of responsibility, with total clarity, with clear direction where we are going to move, I'm very hopeful, and I assure my LP people who are here, or the comrades who came from other districts, we all together will be marching ahead to build that new India, free of exploitation, and throw this regime out of the power in 2024. Lal Salam, Jai Hind, Inkılap, Zindabad.